I mean, 2.5 touchdowns for Tebow on the year is fascinating, right? You have
It
to
that's on the year.
you have to
Okay,
have a lot.
I'm hammering
You
the
have to
over,
have a
but
lot.
I think it's probably a good
It
line.
is. I mean, in reality, you have to have a lot of stuff happen before the season starts, right? So he has to make the team, which we think is probably a foregone conclusion, but that is part of it. Has to be
Yeah,
able
I
to
think
has to be
so.
able to stay
Yep.
healthy. And then you have to consider that like there's probably not a world where Tebow is the starting tight end, right? So the only chance he's going to have to get touchdowns
Yep.
is going to be some sort of like goal line type of package in that tight end
Yep.
role, or potentially some sort of wildcat Taysom Hill type thing, like they've been talking about, right? So that's the thing. Now,
Yeah.
2.5 touchdowns. Here's my question: is it 2.5 touchdowns as a tight end, or is it 2.5 touchdowns total? Because I could see him getting like two rushing touchdowns over the course of the season in some sort of weird like wild, or
Yeah.
like a like a
Fullback. A fullback
pass.
role maybe.
Like I so if it's 2.5 total touchdowns, I don't know that that's a bad bet. I think I saw the line is like it's pretty close right now. Like the betting, I think the under is like
Oh, I'm sure.
paying like plus 125. I think the over is like minus 160 or something. So it's like it's not crazy like right
Yeah.
now. I mean it's interesting, right? It's very interesting. That's uh
Here,
that's
here,
one where that I kind of want to
I,
stay
I
away
mean,
from,
I think
you know.
really,
Yeah,
I'm hammering the over, Nick. I think a guy like
okay.
Tebow, once he makes the team, man, you get him into those late weeks,
Uh
where now he's working in the offense. I don't see, I don't see how like a guy like Tebow can won't work himself into the starting
mm,
rotation at tight end. It's just so hard for me to see that not happening because of that dude has a work ethic like you wouldn't believe. I
yeah,
mean,
it's
you
true.
see him in the pictures coming out of training camp and just how jacked
Oh,
he looks.
thick.
Like to me, that dude is going to, and like to be honest, this is probably like when he went and played baseball and people were like, you probably won't have that much success. He still had some success, but I think this is probably like the position where he could thrive the most in the sports scenario right
Yep.
now, like a sports team setting
Yep.
at the tight end position. So I think it's easy, not easy, but like I think we're gonna see more of Tebow than people think, maybe care to admit. And I think especially towards that latter half of the season, I think you're gonna see a heavy dose of Timmy Tebow. And you know what? I'm here for it. So I would hammer the over 2.5. If they had an alt bet of 6 touchdowns on the year, I would hammer that too. Um, because that's where I think this Tim Tebow thing's going.
It's going.
But that's just me. I'm not a financial
Tim Tebow.
advisor. And
Tim
you know what?
Tim Tebow.
If you disagree with me, you can get the hell out of
Tim
here.
Tebow in your mind is going to potentially be able to score 6 or more touchdowns on the season as the starting tight end
Yeah,
for
if
the
we're if
Jaguars.
yeah, if yeah, but they're not all receiving touchdowns, so we got to take
Okay,
that
okay,
into
okay.
account. Okay,
Okay, so I got
yeah,
you. I was.
I imagine at one point in the season, um, he'll probably in the late game scenario holding the holding the
Yeah, right. Okay.
kicker, and he calls an audible out.
Some like along those lines. Something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That'll count for one, and then we only need 5 more. He's probably going to catch 2 or 3, a little tight end out package, double tight
There you
ends.
go.
I could see him, and then you get like maybe one
Is
or two fullback runs.
is Tim?
It's possible,
See, here's
but
here's what I
you
think
know,
it is. His biggest obstacle during the games will be this, in my mind. If you're a defensive player in the NFL, right? You come out,
mhm.
okay? You're like, all right, they're going to probably pass. So we're either going to be in a man or a zone, right? Say you're in a man coverage. All
Yep.
right, you got Tebow. You're like definitely heightened sense of awareness on that play. Like you're like, look, I'm not going to be the dude that Tebow scores on. No way. So if you're manned up against him, like you might like it's there's going to be a lot going on there, right? You're not just going to
For
give
sure.
up a touchdown to Tebow. It's going to be a tough ride. Now against the zone coverage, maybe he's able to get loose a little bit, right? It's a little bit more, he's kind of heading through. Okay, he's going to try to find a little opening in the zone.
For sure.
Nobody's there trying to take his head off, because it's kind of like, okay, well, he might go this way, he might go that. That potentially helps him out a little, right?
Yeah.
Is that he's not
Yep.
necessarily is in as much of a predicament as he is against a man? Because I just think the psychology of defenses when they see Tim Tebow come trotting onto the field is like, I mean, obviously they're going to involve this dude in this play more than likely. Like, look at him, even if he's a decoy, like he's going to get involved. So I'm definitely
For
lighting his
sure.
ass up if I'm playing man for sure. Like the second the ball is snapped, I'm gonna hit this dude with everything I got. Is probably gonna be the thought of a lot of defenders, I would imagine.
For
Um,
sure. But here's the thing, Nick. I don't think even if you hit that dude with everything you got,
that's
I
the
don't think
thing.
it's gonna
He seems ready.
matter.
I know he's fun. I
Like,
know he's.
he's like
He's looking really. Yep.
he's Bill, bro.
Yep. He's coming off the line.
It,
He's like,
I
oh,
mean,
okay,
he ain't gonna torn enough at his speed, that's for sure.
right. But
Like,
you
but
come in
like
there.
he's not gonna be able to like burn any middle linebackers or nothing like that. But
Yep.
if a safety or a cornerback tries to hit him, they're just gonna hit and fall down.
You
Essentially,
come up.
it's
You
gonna be like
go.
Chad Ochocinco trying to block Ray Lewis on that one video that
Safety.
circulates every couple of years. It just ain't
Dude.
gonna work.
Safety comes down, man coverage, Tebow, ball gets snapped. Safety's thinking, like, I'm about to jam this fool. Goes to stick him, and Tebow just eats that, chucks him
Yeah.
to the side. He's at, perfect running form. He's right there. Let's go, Trevor Lawrence. Bang. I mean, I can see it. I don't know if I can
Yeah.
see it 6 times, but in fairness, if I was going to take this bet, you have to take the over. Like, do not bet the under.
Yeah.
You should never
Yeah.
bet the
No.
under anyway, ever. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not a financial advisor, but you should not be out here betting the under ever. We
For
bet
sure.
overs on this show, but especially on that bet.
Yep.
Like, if you're going to put money on Tim
Yeah.
Tebow, don't put it against the guy. Who's rooting against him? We're not rooting against him. Certainly. I'm just saying I don't know if he's going to score 3 touchdowns, but I'm definitely not rooting
For sure.
against the guy. I hope he scores 10. I hope they play him at quarterback.
Yes.
I'm here for all of it, but I
Yeah.
think at the end of the day, it is going to be interesting to watch him become this this like highlighted element
Yeah.
of the offense, which for the Jaguars, which is phenomenal. Like the fact that this guy
Yeah.
is still after all this time able to come in and make this much noise is amazing.
Yeah, it sure is. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But I'm high on Tim Tebow. Probably higher than I've ever been on him before in my life. So I'm excited to see what happens.